Today's tool haul is going to consist of three things. A massive SK tool haul, Zoro.com. If you're not familiar with them, I'll give you a little insight. It's my first time ordering from them. And a really cool item I picked up, a vintage item I should say, from eBay. Now I'm only kidding. I wish it was a massive SK tool haul. But that is how many boxes they sent me. That as well as the one there. And I consolidated everything into that one box. I love SK, but they really have issues with efficiency and their shipping. The fact that I could fit everything in there into that one box can't be cost effective. Let's jump into the Zoro first. And as you can see there's a large package there, and I'll share with you in a minute what's in there. There's also something in this box that falls under the category of buy once, cry once, in my opinion. So let me show you what's in there. So here's an item I just could not find anywhere else used. I looked on Let Go or whatever that is, Offer Up Now, eBay. I've been searching for a while. Obviously, you know I'm always in estate sales, garage sales, and I cannot find a quality USA made tap and die set, metric that is, for a reasonable price. And that's what led me to Zoro. I was been searching online to buy a new one. Every once in a while I break down and have to buy something new, and this falls under that category. There's certain things I just won't compromise quality on, and a tap and die set is one. And the reason it kind of bothered me to spend so much money on this, if you remember some of my other videos, I found some really nice tap and die sets. I found that really big set, USA made Dayton, for $40. And then I also found the exact same set here, an Ace Hansen. I think I paid $40 for it. And this I'll give you the pricing for in a minute, but it cost more than both of those two combined. But as you can see, they're made in the USA, 41 piece. And you got to be careful when you're buying these. Irwin has a lot of different varieties. They have some cheaper versions. Don't be fooled. Make sure it says made in the USA. Let's take a closer look at it. So Zoro had the best price for this. Amazon was about $135 and change. eBay was more than that. I want to say in the $140 range. And they had it for $124, which was the best price. But then they also had a 10% off coupon. And with that coupon, that made it like sealed the deal for me at $112. And you know, they're known for their taps. This is one of those things you just don't want to skimp on. I want to say Harbor Freight was, I don't know, $65 for their set, and you can't even compare the Harbor Freight set to this. So with that, it was a no-brainer, but I did shop around for it. Never purchased from them before, but I had a pretty good experience. Everything shipped really fast. It did come in some bits and pieces, and maybe you'll understand why in a minute when I show you the other stuff I bought. But for $112, I'll have it for the rest of my life, and it's made in the USA. And just another little note on these. When you get these in here, it's very important to keep them in the package. That keeps them from corroding. And I actually going to be doing a video coming up on some rust prevention. I got a really cool item that I've been using recently from one of the subscribers that sent it to me, and I'm going to share that with everyone. He sent me some pictures too of some of the tools that he's used it on and has had for 30 years. So it was 10% off the entire order. So at that point I said, let me see what else I need and that they have. And as you guys know, I got a new lathe, and in here is some stock. I just, you know, to get me started. In the future, yeah, I'll probably have an opportunity to find some at estate sales and yard sales, and I've been doing that. But you don't see too much of this stuff, which is like the composite, the Delrin, and the prices on it was very reasonable. These smaller diameters, now these are all a foot long. This was like $4. I want to say like maybe $5. You know, the little bit larger diameters. This maybe was like $6. This is 1.5 inches, so this is a big one. I think this was like 12 and change with the discount. And then I got some serious steel as well. This is a foot long and 1.25 inches thick. I mean, that's a serious piece of steel. And I think this was, let's see, maybe in the $14 range, so you can't beat that. This will give me a good start to mess around with the lathe, and then I'll show you what was in that really long box. And that is a 3-foot long, 1-inch diameter piece of steel. It is super heavy, and this was $12. So for stock, I think it's a really good place to shop. It cost, I want to say, oh, it's free shipping. If you're over $50, I think it was, and maybe there's some nuances to that you'll have to look into. Everyone could get the 10% off coupon as long as you go on there and sign up and you're new. They'll give you that. And then my understanding is that they will actually send you coupons, maybe 25% off certain times of the year, just like all other retailers. So just something to have in your back pocket. It was my first time ever using them. I may have heard or seen it once or twice, but there's just, you don't hear a lot about them. I think maybe the Tool Bear or one of those guys over the years have mentioned it, and I've heard about it. But that's my first experience with it. My understanding is they came out as Zoro Tools like 2012 maybe or so, and they were Zoro Tools, and then they rebranded themselves in the last few years as Zoro.com, and they do more than just tools now. They're like an Amazon, essentially. All right, now let's see what I got from eBay to go with this, which I think is a cool vintage item. So I got this on that deadly place called eBay, where you're searching for vintage stuff, and when you come across it, you can't walk away. This is an item I probably, if I was patient enough, could find out there in estate sales and whatnot, and I probably have walked away from a bunch of them. It's kind of heavy. Let me get it out of the box. So I went and bought all that stock, and I said, you know what? I really don't have a great way to cut it. In the past, I would, crank something into a vise, but I have some of the vices have the pipe fitting it towards the bottom, but I did not have a proper pipe vise, and this will be perfect to cut all that stock. And this is really what I was looking for, was this small size. Measures about 6 inches by about 5 inches. It can mount it right onto a workbench. You could flip it this way, clamp it down to a workbench, which makes it really cool. If you can see there, it's got the edges on it like that. But I'm going to probably put it on a block, and then what I would do is clamp it into my jaw horse. That's like my new favorite thing to clamp things in when I need it, and then when I don't need it, it could go up on a shelf somewhere. So these are expensive when you go. I really wanted this company, Erie Toolworks. It's just near and dear to my heart. I have an Erie vise. I used to go up that way a lot for work. And it's just got a great history, and we'll get more into that when I do the restoration video on these. So the pricing, is because of the weight of them, is not cheap. They're getting, $25, $30 plus shipping for these. I found the seller that had both. It had the small one as well as this monster. And this thing, let's see the height on this. This is a much bigger pipe vise. It's going 10 inches. That's without even hitting the thread on the top. And with that, they had it $29 for both of them, plus I want to say $20 shipping. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna see if he'll come down on the price. I shot him a note. It wasn't an offer, where you make your offer. I just said, I'm gonna shoot him a note. I said, hey, I'm interested in it. Would you take $24 for the two of them plus the shipping? And he came back at $25, and I made the deal, and I had it for $50. So that's going to make a really cool restoration project. I'll start with the smaller one first, because that's the one I'm going to be using to cut all that stock. So stay tuned for those videos. And let's finish up with that SK stuff. I'm not going to go too crazy showing you guys everything that's in here, because I did the Steals and Deals video. If you haven't seen that, check it out. I'll put it in the link in the description. And I'm sure most of the folks watching this channel probably already have this or went and purchased it on the Steals and Deals. But there's a couple items on here I want to take a little bit of a closer look at. So these are screwdriver holders, or you could call them wrench holders, whatever you want. They got a couple different purposes. They were literally $2 each, made in the USA. They'll come in handy at some point. But I do want to take a closer look at these gloves, as well as this ratchet, and maybe the hammer as well. So looking at this hammer, it is a 13 ounce. It is a pretty small size, and what I like about it is the handle is still a pretty full size, even though it's a short little hammer. It probably measures about 1 foot long, but the head on it is what's small. Yeah, it's about 11 inches, but I love that the head's small. I have trusty Cook hammers. You can't beat that, and I think this one might be sold out, unfortunately, if you're interested in that. The pliers are 20 bucks. What I like about these pliers is they're a little bit more of the heavier duty. They have a little bit more leverage, is what I'm trying to say there. Very similar to, this is almost the same exact design as the Channellox 337, and I did not have a pair of these. I did have a pair of the regular diagonal cutters, or dikes as we called them growing up. I don't know if people still call them dikes, but then there's the bigger set there, so just a little more leverage with that head. And the LP90 ratchet, that's one I'm really excited to share with you. This is the shaker that goes in the air hammer. I think that was 10 bucks. And then this is a little 3/8 chisel for probably, I think it was $3. Let's take a closer look at this ratchet. So what I want to do with this is just give this SK LP90 a quick comparison to other flex heads I have. Overall, the chrome seems really nice. You would expect nothing less from SK. It seems like it's going to be a narrower. The only thing I did notice right out of the gate, select the switch is a little stiff, but that may break in. And let's hear it. Sounds nice and fine. It's always hard to tell if it's lubed or not. It doesn't sound really dry or anything, but I'll pull those heads off. Whenever I get a new ratchet, I always do that. The other thing that's notable on this is that it does not have a ball detent or a locking flex head. And this thing measures about 11 inches. This was $60, and you could apply a coupon if you had it, if you were new to the SK Club or so forth. So here is my Cornwell that I have. It measures... I think this one's a 12-inch. It's a little bit longer, this Cornwell flex head. And this one does have the detent. I'm kind of indifferent on it. I kind of like that this one doesn't have the detent. This one's definitely more broken in. It moves a little freer. So I'm wondering if this is going to have some back drag initially. I'll have to use it and see. But otherwise, you could see the head on the SK is definitely more narrow. It's definitely narrower, and it's a smaller little teardrop. Maybe the camera doesn't show it, but it is. And if I put the caliper on it and measured it, you would definitely see that this SK is smaller. And the other flex head I have is the old Gear Wrench 120, and just comparing it up to that, it's actually a little bit more in line than that. It's a little bit more streamlined, but overall, pretty much, you could see it's definitely smaller than the XP 120. So if you picked one of these up or you had one of these, I'm sure this was probably the best item they had on the SK Steals and Deals. And as of yesterday, it still was available. Put it in the comments, share, and pick one up if you haven't. I would recommend it for $60. You can't beat a USA-made flex head 11-inch ratchet. And with the gloves, they're about $15. That's a pretty good deal. Believe it or not, they're not made in the USA. I want to say it was Vietnam. That's the first time I've got something from SK that wasn't. Even their t-shirts, their hats are usually made in the USA. Not a deal breaker. They're actually, I was wearing them there for a little bit. They fit well. My hand's kind of in between. Sometimes I'm usually an extra large. I usually err on the side of caution, go extra large, and it usually works out. But with these, you want a good working glove, so and it seemed to work well. Has the padding here for the impact gun, protects your hands, and it has a little bit of hard plastic here to save you on the knuckles, so they're not overly bulky. It's just got a little bit of padding in the right spot and reinforced in the others. Hopefully you found this video informational, especially around the Zoro, another place to buy tools. SK still running the Steals and Deals, and hopefully you're looking forward to seeing that restoration. I know I'm looking forward to doing it. If you've had good experience with Zoro, share it. Like I said, it's my first time using Zoro.com. Also, if you've bought in stock at any other places, round stock, bar stock, share that. Because I did search a little bit. I went on eBay. I searched Granger. A lot of these places don't sell it in smaller quantities. Or on eBay, for that matter, it was more expensive. So I thought that was pretty cool, finding a place that you can buy round stock and bar stock for a reasonable price. All right, guys, I got to get back to the Scout Crafter Challenge. I got that going on. I got another resto going on, another vise. I want to get this vise going. That Miller's Falls vise I want to get going. That axe took me way longer than I wanted it to. It backed me up a little bit. But if you haven't seen that video, check it out. And if you want a Tom Gunn channel sticker, feel free to email me at tomguntools@gmail.com. All right, I'll see you in the next one.